Think you know history? What if I told you Columbus didn't discover America, the Dark Ages weren't dark, and the pyramids weren't built by slaves? Number 1. Columbus discovered America. Setting sail with Christopher Columbus, who is known for discovering America. We'll move through this story yet. A very long time before Columbus's ships arrived, the Americas were home to very large and advanced societies. The empires of the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs were full of art, architecture, and science. Columbus wasn't the first, not even from a European point of view. Leif Erikson, a Norse adventurer, most likely arrived in North America around the year 1000. So, when Columbus got there, he wasn't finding a new land. He was meeting two worlds that had been changing on their own for thousands of years. Number 2. The Dark and Dirty Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, also known as the Dark Ages, were a time in Europe. But was that really a time of darkness and ignorance? Come on, let's now take it off. In fact, the Middle Ages were a time of amazing progress and growth. During this time, universities were founded, the Gothic style of building made big steps forward, and literature and philosophy made big steps forward as well. Just think about the Magna Carta, Dante's Inferno, windmills, and mechanical clocks, among other things. The Dark Ages were actually full of progress and new ideas, despite the misleading name that makes them sound like a time when culture and ideas stopped growing. Number 3. The Pyramids. Built by slaves? There is quickly to picture the Great Pyramids of Giza, which represent ancient wonder and success. A common idea is that thousands of slaves worked hard in Egypt under the hot sun. But let's stop and play again. What archaeologists have found says a different story. There is evidence that these famous buildings were not made by slaves, but by paid workers, craftsmen, and artisans. These people were put together in groups that were fed and cared for well. They were fed and even given medical care. This false belief changes not only how we see the pyramids, but also how we think about ancient Egyptian society as a whole. Instead of a story of abuse, it's one of respect, skill, and working together. Number 4. The Salem Witch Trials. Burned at the stake? Let's go back to the scary story of the Salem Witch Trials. This is a common picture of witches being burned at the stake. But this picture of fire is just that, a picture. The hard truth? Some were smashed under big stones, but most were hung. The story of being burned comes from the witch trials in Europe, where it was a popular way to kill people. Salem's story is a sad part of history that shows how dangerous mass panic and false charges can be. This is a somber lesson of how important it is for people to think clearly and fairly. Number 5. Vikings wore horned helmets. Let's tackle one of the most iconic yet false images in history, the horned Viking helmet. Contrary to what movies and cartoons have taught us, these fierce Norse warriors didn't actually wear helmets with horns. This misconception is a creation of modern media, a theatrical touch added for dramatic effect. In reality, Viking helmets were practical and horn-free. This misrepresentation is a classic case of how modern storytelling can twist historical facts. Real Viking helmets were designed for real battles, simple, sturdy, and efficient. And there you have it, some of the most compelling historical misconceptions, now corrected and clarified. History isn't just about facts. It's about understanding the context and seeking the truth behind the stories. What other historical myths have you encountered? Drop a comment below and let's keep debunking. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dives into history's intriguing narratives. Until next time, keep exploring and questioning.